It's the one complement of the other, just like masculine and feminine. Yeah! In these postmodernist days, genres blur and overlap, despite the best policing efforts of the marketing persons. For example, men write romances buried inside thrillers, the emotionally scarred detective who doesn't dare to trust women. Similarly, aspects of porn have become explicit in romance. Porn and romance share a source, both eroticised sexual inequality, which becomes the source of pleasure. Take the porno romance 50 Shades of Beige. Take it rapidly. It's very badly written and frightfully repetitive and boring, but you'll get the gist. If you let a man hurt you enough, he will reward you with a fitted kitchen. Why did Beige sell so many millions of copies? Do millions of women long to be hurt? Another proof of Eliot's feminine fatuity. The sales figures suggest that Christianity remains alive and kicking. The church channeled young women's longings for adventure into acceptable wishes for holiness. For example, a medieval woman who abandoned her husband and children and hit the road had to protest that she was just going on pilgrimage. Check out Marjorie Kemp's book. The trials in Beige resemble those in medieval lives of saints. Virgins thrown naked into brothels and raped. Wives tortured by their despotic husbands. God rewards these long-suffering martyrs with a place in heaven. These stories circulated also as folk tales, such as Patient Griselda, written about, of course, by Marina Warner, and so now the popular Beige. Porno perverse sex has long been set up in tantalising if simplistic opposition to boring old vanilla sex. So perhaps reading Beige simply offers the pleasure of sampling taboo material. More slap than tickle. Naughty, but nice. Perhaps Beige carries additional hidden meanings. Bestsellers are held to dramatise mass, unconscious wishes after all. Since in the unconscious, if not always in real life, we can be both masculine and feminine, reading Beige we can imagine the sadist to be female as well as male if we want to. Does Beige allow its female readers to reclaim the aggression they're not supposed to possess or enjoy in real life? Perhaps also Beige lets readers rehearse their lived experiences of humiliation in childhood at the hands of parents, the so-called compulsion to repeat, and so lets them hope to transcend them. Or does reading Beige simply, consolingly, confirm those scenarios as inevitable? It's not your fault. Nothing can change. Just keep dreaming. Mothers, according to psychoanalysts such as Donald Winnicott, are supposed to gaze adoringly at their babies' faces. The baby finds himself or herself mirrored in the mother's gaze. If you haven't experienced enough of that loving attention, might you find it in the intense, intimate S&M scenario? The masochist adores her importance to the sadist, revels in her objection, her permitted passivity. She's cherished and taken care of by the ever-inventive, ever-attentive sadist. Baby, baby, he whispers. Cries of bollocks, bollocks from the back. I ignore them. Patter of tiny footnotes. Perhaps masochistic fantasies dramatise present wishes. Perhaps modern women, exhausted by having to be continually, actively responsible as wage earners, captains of industry, mothers and carers, let alone wives, obliged to be so in control, so strong, so giving, sometimes yearn to lie back, passive and yielding, and be dandled by an ideal partner, stroke mummy. Beige lets readers indulge that wish. Beige has something for everyone, except jokes. The sexiest short story I've ever read is The Obelisk by E.M. Forster, not writing as Miss Lavish. That's the new woman in Room with a View, who's a terribly bad feminine writer, because it's so funny. Its comedy involves confusion, mystery, lying, and bisexuality. Its erotic charge invokes Shakespearean playfulness and joy. Perhaps the S&M scenario of Beige simply, unconsciously, dramatises gender conflict within the human psyche and simultaneously muffles it. The times they are a-changing, but we can't all cope. Let's escape into a novel.